I don't wake up early. We don't spend a ton of money on it. It's not completely taking over our lives in a way that makes it uncomfortable, but there is a lot more poo than I had in like my romanticized image of all of this. But what does a simple and lovely yet kind of lazy approach to homesteading? Well, this is how we do it. I'm Heidi with Heavenly Minded Home, and welcome back to our channel where we love sharing all the homey things from homemaking, homeschooling, home discipleship to homesteading, all with an eternal perspective as we live each and every day heavenly minded. I'm so glad you guys are here. We've been talking this week all about finding balance in all the areas of life, which can be so difficult, especially with all the things that life tends to throw our way. So I thought today would be the perfect opportunity to talk about our family's simple approach to a lovely life, aka a lazy lady's hacks to homesteading. Because yes, I homeschool our kiddos. We are in ministry full time. My husband pastors a church. We lead everything we do here through Heavenly Minded Home. We've got the co-op, the Heavenly Minded Homeschool Academy, and the curriculum and all of the different things, which we're so thankful to the Lord for. And then we have our little 8 acres here in Western North Carolina that we've got our own little homestead growing at. And so how do we balance all of this? How do we get it all done? How do we pursue this just living a life that is lovely to us? We used to be the corporate people. We used to live in the busy suburban neighborhood. We used to have to drive down into the city every day and like do all of the stuff. And that's not what we wanted. We wanted something different. We wanted slow and simple, and just to us, that was so lovely. And so we made really drastic changes to get to here, and the Lord really did bless it all along the way. If learning more about that is something you guys are interested in, you have questions, leave me a comment down below. Maybe put like a little sheep or something next to it so I know it's a homesteady related, different, country life related something. But leave me a comment down below and we'd be happy to answer if that's something you guys are interested in. But I always dreamt of this like farm life, which for me was really this like romanticized picture in my head of like basically my home being a glorified petting zoo. And honestly, that's kind of what we've created here, except for there's a lot more poo involved than I ever saw in my dreams, but that's okay. We'll get to that. We still just like to keep it simple. We like to keep it natural. We like to keep it laid back. And so I know people have asked, well, how do we pursue kind of growing this homestead, really prayerfully taking action to grow this while still balancing all the things, homeschooling, right? Ministry, just normal life stuff, keeping the home, all the things that we do. How does our family balance building up our homestead, especially with all of these critters? So far, right now, we have 29 chickens, 1 turkey, 7 dogs, 6 cats, and a sheep, and 8 acres that we tend. So is this the biggest homestead you've ever seen in your whole life? No. Do you have to do it like how we do it? No, but I'm going to share with you exactly what we do. And whether you are actively homesteading yourself right now or you're looking to get started, Or maybe you're just kind of living vicariously and enjoy watching because it's kind of fun to watch someone else deal with all the stuff. That's fine. Be sure you guys watch till the end, because I have a tip that I do to help us balance everything here that I promise, regardless of if you are herding chickens and turkeys and sheep, or you're just at home with whatever you have going on in your house, it's going to be one that can help you. So let's talk about some lazy lady approach to homesteading. So the first thing that probably looks pretty different compared to me and many other homesteaders is, for us, I do not tend a vegetable patch at all. We did pick up a couple plants this year just because my daughter wanted to grow her own peppers. We put in some strawberries. We did a couple little things, but we don't tend to a vegetable patch. We eat a carnivore diet, and so it was really funny, when we started doing stuff, it's like, well, really, there's none of that we need to grow. We grow a few herbs and a couple things, but we don't do that. It's not the norm, but we eat a carnivore way of eating, and so therefore I don't need to keep a bunch of plants. I love all the memes and jokes that go around, like, I'm so glad I dedicated, 500 bajillion hours for this to produce a tomato. Tending food can take a lot out of you. I mean, you can get it done and you can do that, and that's great. But for us, we eat carnivore anyways. We don't waste our time with worrying about a vegetable patch. Could we, grow stuff and sell stuff? Yeah, we could, but for us, it just isn't worth it. The amount of work and time that needs to go into tending that, the vulnerability of losing stuff, the attention for pests and drought and proper sun and all of the things, and the harvesting, for us just wasn't worth it when it came to vegetables. So no growing veggies here at our homestead. The second thing that really helps us kind of balance our just a whole life when it comes to homeschooling, homesteading, ministry, and all of the pieces is really just focusing on growing what's thriving naturally. So for the things that we are planting, that we are growing, I want to focus our attention on the things that naturally I can tend it a little bit and I'm gonna see big returns. That's why we don't do the vegetable patch, even as just like an extra thing to sell. It really was a huge learning curve for us as we started a flower farm this year, and we had a lot of lessons learned in that. So we really focus on the things that do thrive naturally, local plants that we can be growing, native fruits and berries and things like that that we can, ourselves use, because we do eat some berries in our carnivore, ketovore kind of way of eating, but then things that we can easily produce and sell. We have blackberries like you would not believe, cultivating the blackberry vine so that we can more easily harvest them, making jam, selling fresh berries, things like that. Those are really easy things that are already doing great here in our area and on our property that don't take a ton out of us. So as we've been kind of figuring out this whole homestead thing and making the land work for us, and what has the Lord given us that we can use for, we have an abundance of that we can pass on to someone else, it really has been about what's already thriving here. What's doing great here? Let's just cultivate and run with that, versus trying to bring in a bunch of stuff and have all of that headache and heartache and the upfront to try to get it to work. What's already working well, let's run with that. That's a lot less work off of our backs. My third tip would be, when it comes to bringing in animals to the homestead, only keep the animals that you're passionate about, because then all of the time it takes to tend them and care for them and to nurse them back to health and to figure out all the pieces, it makes it so much more enjoyable when you are just really passionate about those. We love our chickens, and we have finally built our flock back up. Now that we have our predator stuff taken care of with the dogs, we can build up our flock. We love turkeys. I would love to get so many more turkeys. Fingers crossed the Lord opens up a way, because raising up good turkey is something that we would love to do more of. Our girls love the chickens. Is that where you just were? They're out there tending to the chickens every morning. I don't even say a word, and our chickens are the most loved and cared for birds you've ever met in your entire life, because the girls adore them. When we run into issues, when we have different things, they're happy to get down there and to get working with them. I have wanted for years a way to start bringing in some livestock. We now have Ruth, our Tunis and Jacob sheep, and we are so excited about her. We just absolutely love her. And Having a flock of sheep has been something that, again, if you guys want to hear more about the sheep, let me know and I will totally share more, because it's something that we have been prayerfully considering for a while now. And now seeing those doors open is just so super exciting because we believe in it. We're passionate about it. So then all of the things that we're out here doing, we look forward to it. I mean, we look forward to coming down each day and moving her and having her in fresh grass and doing the things that need to be done and working with her to just make her, very, just docile. She listens so well. She follows me everywhere I go. She comes when we call her. All of these things are so great, and it doesn't feel like a bunch of work, or it doesn't feel difficult because we're enjoying it so much. And that really does help as we're trying to keep these like balances of life. It's not this difficult thing that we have to, we have to go deal with those nasty chickens or those whatever. We look forward to going down and dealing with our chickens and our turkey and the dogs even, and the sheep and everything else.
We love turkeys.
We do. We really do love turkeys. So that part just makes it so much more enjoyable. The fourth tip I have for anybody homesteading and trying to find balance or trying to grow in this, maybe it's been a dream or something that you've wanted to get to, is to include the whole family. Like I just said with the girls, how much, right, they love the chickens and they love doing this. This is our family's hobby. This is what we love to do, and we do it together. Working in the barn, putting up fencing, taming, or not taming, but training the animals, taking care of things, right, doing all of this. This is our hobby. This is what we come together and do. We share in the workload, but we share in the joy. We make it part of our family's day. Every day we go out and we're boundary line training the Great Pyrenees. We go out all together. We even bring the sheep and we all walk it and do it together. We look forward to that time. We talk about our day. We enjoy, we do these different things together, coming down in the morning and tending to the animals and getting everybody fed. It's just kind of part of our morning routine. And so the balance is really simple, even with having all of these animals, because we all share in the workload. We all do it together. Even little Olivia, right? We're all right here together kind of joining in, and everybody has their piece that they can contribute. It's not all on me and their dad. We're the main responsible ones, of course, but it's all of us working together to do this. And that really does help us find balance in tending to all of the critters, taking care of all the things that need to be taken care of, keeping up with the land, right? Doing all of this, but in a way that we're enjoying and we're doing it together. And last but not least, whether you're homesteading or you're just kind of, living vicariously through homestead type videos, you will benefit from this, because most importantly, do the best with what you have. This is a key element in balancing homestead life with everything else that we have going on, everything else that life throws at us. We do the best with what we have. Do we have the perfect barn? Do we have the perfect setup? Do we have all the things that we ideally would like to have? Does everything come together perfectly? No, it sure doesn't. But guess what? God's got it, and we trust in Him. We do the best with what we have, and the Lord always provides, always opens a door, and there's always a lesson to be found in there. So always remember that regardless of what you have going on, if you feel the Lord calling you to it, He will absolutely strengthen you through it. So when it comes to your dreams of homesteading, of growing your space, even if it's just your little backyard setup or whatever it may be, you've got this. Do the best with what you have. Enjoy it all along the way, because guess what? It's the grand adventure of life. So what's wrong with seeing life as lovely, with romanticizing it all, even your burping Pyrenees, and making the best out of the time that you have? So friends, those would be the things that our family personally does to pursue this lovely life, this life that means so much to us, but in a way that can be manageable, can have some balance. It doesn't have to be overwhelming. Sure, are some days crazy? Do some things happen? Absolutely. You guys saw our day in the life. You can go watch it up here if you didn't already. We've had a wonky week, okay? Things do happen, of course. But when it comes to the overall just finding balance and being able to pursue these things that you do care so much about and making it work for you and your family, I know saying that you homestead and number one, I don't have a vegetable patch is like Homestead 101 taboo, but for us, we don't eat it. We eat carnivore. I don't need to have a vegetable patch, so I don't waste my time with it, you know? Now, if that was an area that I was passionate about, that meant so much to me, then of course I would still do that. I'd much rather be tending to a flock of sheep and training that up, you know, really building that. To me, that's something that is very exciting. My field of sunflowers and other things that I have growing, our blackberries that are here and doing so well, our blueberries, things like that. I'd much rather focus on the things that I'm really passionate about and the things that thrive really, really well in our area. But it's doing what works best for you and what the Lord has put in your season of life that you're currently in. And so if this can be an encouragement, maybe you are homesteading, you'll have to let me know down below. Maybe you're just dreaming about it and it's just a thought. Let me know, because I remember what it was like to be there, wishing and dreaming that we weren't in the city, that we could get out, that we could have a little land. And we've been so blessed for the past like nearly 10 years, I think, that we've been here now. It's been the greatest blessing, and I thank the Lord for it every single day. But to step out in faith still and say, let's do this. I know we don't own the house, we do only rent, like we have a lot of obstacles ahead of us. Yes, I understand, but I feel like we're right where we're supposed to be. Like it's right what God has been really preparing us to do this whole time. And it just took us stepping out in faith and saying, how do we make this work for us, in our family, and our situation? What are the things that we do so that we can balance homeschooling and ministry and the fact that we don't even have an actual income, you know, and all of these other things. Hello, Thaddeus. Hello, Theodore. How do we balance all of this stuff, trusting that the Lord is absolutely going to guide it and lead us exactly where He desires us to be and exactly where we can bring glory to His name above all? And that is really our goal in building up our homestead and sharing it with you guys and letting it hopefully be an encouragement to anyone else who is going, I want to do this, or I am doing it and I'm struggling, or whatever it may be. How do we find balance? How do we do this? Well, you do the best with what you have. You trust in the Lord and you find the ways that work for your family and your current season of life. So hopefully this can be a little bit of encouragement. I love getting to hang out with you guys each and every day for the videos that we have coming out. So we've got a super special Q&A coming out tomorrow, like we've been doing here lately. So you guys be sure to turn on your little bell notifications when you subscribe so you can get those, all of your questions when you leave them down below. You can put the little sheep emoji if it's something about homesteading, or even just put a coffee cup emoji so that way we know it's a question that you want to have answered in one of our weekly Q&As. Otherwise, you want a little something else to watch, I highly recommend these videos right up here. You can binge away and get some homesteady goodness right over there. Otherwise, see y'all right back here tomorrow. Bye, friends.